I believe that the future.
Okay, I'm out of order, just a second.
Oh.
I had written this all in pencil and I'm hard time reading it, sorry about that. Should be Sue.
Well, I think what DMEA needs to do is they need to talk with Tri-State and see if we can negotiate more than 5% and go from there. That's kind of what I think we should do. So that we can generate more of our own local power, such as solar, more hydro. There's also other hydro locations. Circus Creek has 3 great locations that have year-round water that people are starting to look at. So that there's a lot of opportunities here.
Thank you, Sue. Ginny?
I also believe that if we can renegotiate with Tri-State and raise those amounts that we can develop in local energy, that would be wonderful. But we need to be able to change that somehow.
Mark?
Well, hopefully we can keep them profitable. But really, I think it completely boils down to Tri-State. I don't think Tri-State really has any interest in the co-ops doing this. I think there's even new information coming out of Tri-State where they're putting thumbs down on the stuff. I don't really know the answers, but somebody out there does. But really, Tri-State's the monster.
Okay. Now Dave.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tri-State's the monster, but what we really need is government backing in order to change this contract. I know the federal government today is talking about contemporary energy and clean energy. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen everywhere, but Delta is in a unique position to actually supply all our energy needs and probably sell some and provide some employment for people that need jobs. And whatever we can do, legally or politically, we need to push for a much bigger percentage of contemporary energy and push hard for it. It's very important for everybody. Thank you.
Steve?
I think our microphone quit, but I'm kind of on the fence. Tri-State is the big hammer. They have all the cards to let us generate any more electricity. The potential is here. The North Fork is loaded with sites, so is the Cedaredge area. If there's any way to generate more electricity and have that available even as on farm or in-house, or some of those situations where we don't have to ask Tri-State's permission to do those things, I would promote that.
Thank you. John?
I think it's becoming pretty clear that distributed energy generation is the future, and DMEA really needs to embrace this trend and not fight it. And I have to say, I put my money where my mouth is. I've operated a 5-kilowatt photovoltaic array in my house for the last 7 years, and since I moved that array out here, I fed about 5.6 megawatt hours into the grid in excess. So all of you folks out there have used some of the electrons that I've generated on my roof. You also have to look at where the industry is going. In the last 18 months, the U.S. has installed more solar PV than in the previous 30 years combined. So that is a bow wave that's going to rock this industry across the country. And DMEA is intelligently doing some very good things in terms of looking at a solar leaseback program that I think is a step in the right direction. But I alluded to change, and this is one of those industrial change issues that are going to be very key for DMEA to manage in the coming years.
Thank you. The next question, I don't know who wrote it, and I'm not sure that I will read it. And it is, the time of use agreement with DMEA was canceled 4 months ago. San Luis Valley still honors theirs. What is your opinion on, I guess, on the time of use? And we'll start with Terry.
When Tri-State changed their way of billing us, then we had to change to match their billing. And to do that, we had to eliminate time of use. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay. BJ?
Time of use time of use was very rewarding and provided incentive for some people to use less electricity, and I think that the DMEA should do their best to negotiate a new time of use statute versus the flat rate statute that they have right now. I don't know if that's possible, but it ought to be a point of conversation. Tri-State is our provider right now. They provide 44 sites in the 4-state area, and we have to work with them if they're going to be our distributor. So time of use is something we ought to be talking with them about. I guess the first thing, though, is maybe we ought to decide among ourselves, is that what we really want? Is that best for the company, and is it best for the membership?
Thank you. Mark?
Well, the time of use deal, it shaved peak. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing for the whole system. DMEA has spent tens of millions of dollars on technology, and a lot of it is good stuff. And this move that Tri-State made to eliminate that, they just gutted it. We just squandered all sorts of money on all this technology. Tri-State turns around and just guts it. It's ridiculous. Here, and then you have the people that actually spend money on certain heating systems so they can participate in this program, and then they get cut. And it's really too bad.
Thank you. Jenny?
I like the concept of time of use, but it would be something we would have to renegotiate with Tri-State with so that we can figure it out, maybe put it back in place.
Sue?
Time of use was a great program. It's unfortunate what Tri-State did to it. One thing that people can do to help shave some of their electric costs is DMEA has something called, my brain is fried, smart meter. They have a program that you can download onto your iPad or iPod or telephone, and you can monitor your use of power throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. And that can show you where you're using too much, and then you can reduce your rate that way, which would probably reduce it just as much as you did as when you had the TOU. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Well, I think Terry really captured the situation pretty accurately, but I will say that, I very much favor cost-based pricing, and I think that's a very good way to look at any pricing changes that we make. I will say also it's important that DMEA focus on leveling the load as best possible across the distribution network to just contain cost and to operate as efficiently as we can. So at this point, again, I don't have a lot of background on the issue, but again, I will focus on looking at cost-based pricing issues and being equitable to the members.
Thank you. Steve? I can't see you.
Being able to run our feed mills and things on on off-peak hours was really cost-effective for us, and now we're on at a flat rate, and the time to negotiate is when you're at the table, and we haven't been able to get back to the table for a while, so I would like to be present at that conversation for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dave?
Time of use, I got on it 8 years ago, and after using it for a while, I thought it was too good to be true. So every time I went to an annual meeting, I would ask the staff and people, how much longer is this going to last? And I never did get a straight answer. So I didn't invest too much in heating equipment.